Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Gavin. Thank you very much for being here. I just took a call from an old friend and did not get myself set up for this live stream. So give me just a second, click all the right buttons and everything. I have a friend who I would love to have as a guest here on the channel. He and I have had some funny experiences together and fun experiences together. But what is not fun is he was just telling me that he had a roommate who was murdered like in 2021. I'm going to come over here. This is actually the killer, Damon Allen Benson, and Cameron Gabriel was his roommate and friend, and my friend just happened to be on a trip with his son out of the house when all that went down. And I'm thinking, if he's up for it, maybe we'll have him on the channel to talk, because one, it would be fun. He's one of my oldest friends, not oldest, but dearest friends. We worked together at a couple companies, and then he's got this story to tell. So if you guys would like me to invite him on the channel, you let me know. I think it would be fun and interesting. But that's not what we're talking about today, right? Gavin, get to it. Today, we're jumping into the Sarah Boone, what do we want to call it, soap opera. This is the first time that I've covered this case, and it is because I read her latest letter, I should say, to the judge. And I actually think that it's kind of a smart letter, and I want to share it with you guys. But before we do, let's talk a little background, shall we? Let's go to Wikipedia, just real quick, okay? The victim in this case is a man named Jorge Torres Jr. He died February 24th of 2020 by Ms. Boone. She does not, I guess, she admits to it. She admits that he died at her hand. But he was zipped up into a suitcase and subsequently suffocated to death. Let's go over to Wikipedia, and I'm just going to, just very quickly, just to talk about the background of the case, okay? Because we're not going to get totally into the case. The case is pretty big, but let's just so you guys know some background here, okay? So February 24th of 2020, Jorge Torres Jr., 42-year-old American man, died in Winter Park, Florida, when his girlfriend, Sarah Boone, tricked him into going inside a suitcase. Then she zipped it tight. Torres suffocated to death after his girlfriend, then 42-year-old Sarah Boone, zipped him into the suitcase and then filmed his suffering. Later, she went upstairs without realizing or caring that he would not be able to get out of the suitcase himself. Following Torres' death, Boone was questioned but not arrested until the following day, when she voluntarily went into another police interview. Okay, background here real quick that I want you guys to know about. Prior to his death, Torres had been arrested multiple times for alleged instances of DV against Boone, and she had been arrested one time for an alleged instance of DV against him. Boone had been arrested once for alleged battery by strangulation against Torres in July 2018, when both Boone and Torres were arrested. However, her charge was later dismissed. Torres had been arrested 4 times for alleged battery against Boone. Each time Boone bailed Torres out of jail. So you can kind of see the background that we're kind of looking at here. This is a tumultuous relationship with abuse being piled upon one another from both sides. But then there's that, I guess, piece of like battered spouse syndrome, whatever you want to call it, right? Where he would be arrested for battery and then she would bail him out of jail. it's a fascinating fascinating phenomenon that we do as human beings. Okay, on February 25th, 2020, Sarah Boone had called 911, told him that her boyfriend Jorge Torres was dead. Boone claimed that she and Torres had a single bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. She claimed that they thought it would be funny to put him in the suitcase and that they were both laughing. She stated that she then went upstairs and accidentally fell asleep, leaving Torres in the suitcase. Torres's death was ruled a homicide. Boone was not arrested the day that she allegedly found him in the suitcase and called the police. The following day, she was asked to go to the police station for an interview. During the interview, forensic investigators asked for her phone. She willingly gave her phone to them, and it was searched. The search found 2 videos that Boone had taken the night before. However, she did not remember taking the videos, and she also did not try to delete the videos. According to court records, the videos depict Boone saying to Torres, "For everything you've done to me." Boone was subsequently charged with second-degree murder for killing Torres, held in Orange County Jail without bail. She has written letters to the trial judge stating that she has not been represented fairly. She has been through 8 different attorneys. She is expected to use the battered women defense at her trial. The trial date is set for October 7th, 2024. Who knows if that'll actually happen, though, of course, right? Because, and let's go over to Acrobat. Here is an article from a couple weeks ago, okay? Woman accused of killing her boyfriend in suitcase says her 8th lawyer has, quote, snotty attitude. There is Ms. Boone, Mr. Torres. Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marceno speaks with Fox News Digital about the February 6th incident inside. Oh, no, I don't know what that is. Okay, Sarah Boone is like Goldilocks trying to find the right defense lawyer. Her 8th attorney, Patricia Cashman, was too snotty, said the suspected murderer, who allegedly zipped up her boyfriend in his suitcase during what Boone claimed was a game of hide and seek. Boone called another lawyer of hers a dud and a buffoon, Court TV reported. Her 7th lawyer, she claimed in letters to the court, could not talk to counsel. One lawyer said Boone should, quote, represent herself as no attorney can satisfy her, and another said her relations became adversarial, according to a report by Fox 35 Orlando, based on court filings. Her most recent lawyer, Cashman, cited irreconcilable differences, including but not limited to ethical considerations, according to Court TV. Boone submitted a 50-plus page complaint about Cashman ahead of the June 7th court appearance, which Cashman attended as Boone's lawyer. However, Cashman laid out how difficult it was to work with Boone since she took the case in February. Quote, I've spent over 20 hours going through her questions, going through her lists, Cashman said in court, according to Court TV. When I tried to update her with regard to depositions that I took recently, she opted to exit the jail conference. When I tried to review some things with regard to discovery as to things I wanted to make sure she was aware of, she walked out. Boone asked the judge to, quote, just let her, Cashman, know, please, to please be nice to me and have a welcoming attitude, Court TV reported. With Cashman officially off the case, it is unclear who will represent Boone, who was charged with second-degree murder in the death of her boyfriend, Jorge Torres, in February 2020. The alleged murder happened in the couple's Orange County, Florida home. She allegedly told law enforcement that they drank wine and played hide and seek when she passed out in her bed. However, video allegedly recorded on Boone's phone appears to tell a different tale. Boone is allegedly heard laughing while Torres screams from inside the suitcase while her boyfriend tries to free himself. For everything you've done to me, expletive, you, stupid, Boone allegedly yells in the video, Fox 35 Orlando reported. That's on you. Oh, that's what I feel like when you cheat on me, she reportedly added. Authorities said they found video on Boone's phone of Torres trying to get out of the suitcase. The bizarre behavior and animosity toward her court-appointed lawyers have pushed Boone's murder trial back for years. Again, this happened in February of 2020. We're now in June of 2024, right? As of now, the trial is scheduled for October 7th, but it is unclear if that will be bumped back again and who will represent Boone going forward. Okay, so now we have a little background around this case, and thank you for hanging in with me while I do that, because this isn't a case that I have kept my eye on until I began to read, let's see, this letter. Let me bring it up for you. And one thing I can say about Sarah Boone that I'm grateful for is that she has beautiful handwriting. We can actually read this. Now, it's 58 pages, and I don't think that we need to read all 58 pages, but I want to read some of it, and then I think at the end what I'd like to do is explain to you why I think that sending this letter was a good idea. And I might be wrong, and you might disagree with me. So that'll be okay. We can discuss it, right? Okay. Here we go. Honorable, what is the name of the judge? Cranick? Judge Michael Cranick. Okay, Honorable Judge Cranick, ongoing 5 years. Why can't I use my constitutional rights? Am I the only one who cares about the ongoing violations? Have a bond. Have all my medical records. Have all my digital evidence and discovery. Have all my paperwork. What is it? Letters, pictures, everything of mine returned by former attorney. Oh, notes, letters, pictures, everything of mine returned by former attorneys. Speak to my investigator. Have a complete download of my phone. Have any of my witness lists. Give any insight, understanding, clarification, truths about my care, especially to my attorney, or my case, especially to my attorney. Be listened to by anyone, especially my attorney. Be respected for who I am truly, especially by my attorney, and not be disrespected for the something malicious murderer all the world hears falsely, incorrectly created and believes to be me. That's hard to read in a lot of this. Be treated fairly, lawfully, and be protected by the justice system. Properly, rightfully, completely defend myself. See all and know the same as the world can and does, including my attorney, from all the phenomenal, non-persuasive amount of my entire case being available online globally before my trial, and most important, before I have seen it myself. What does anyone know already about my case? How about my side in everything about everything? Be correctly understood that I am not the problem for reasons I am on malappointed by the court attorneys. See my letter from 7/21/23. Say what I want and should, but all the world can, and say it all wrong and warped. Why won't my attorney give me an honest answer? Show me everything she says she has and finished reviewing for my case, but withheld from me after I asked repeatedly for and about. Give me an answer other than I'm putting this to rest. That's not necessary, or I'm not having this conversation with you. Grant me access to anything I ask for in and about my case. Like the detectives in my case, stop putting words in my mouth. This is my attorney, right? Why won't my attorney stop putting words in my mouth? Tell me what's going on in my case. It's been well over 100 days. She has been my attorney, and I still do not know. Ongoing 5 years. Why won't my attorney answer any of my questions? Ever ask me any questions? How can she supposedly know everything she needs to know from what she's been told, heard, read, seen? Reassure they're on my side, for me, not against. Why have I already been judged in the court of public opinion? How did that happen? Why have I been sentenced by anticipation and condemned before my predicted trial? I think is what that says. Why does my attorney and all the world think my case is already over? Your Honor, during our first introduction at my last withdrawal of court-appointed attorney number 7, Hobson, you stated to me your uninvolvement with any of my letters I write, and I am still going to write my letters as conduitely they are to the world. I don't know what that. Where all my potential jurors are located, and this is the only way anyone, including yourself, knows the very necessary insight to my continued disadvantages, hindrance, impediments, and I am still experiencing on top of the new something spurring my intentions to write. The race to the pulpit is unfair, and it is important to me that you are aware and understand what transpires when the news cameras are off and we're all in between my status hearings. We're all in between my status hearings. 2, as so many of the advantageous embezzlers, racketeers, mindless lemmings, and just altogether mean people can use their freedom of speech, not knowing me in any way other than what's being said by all the other mean people and being said incredibly incorrectly, so can I. As the compelling, annoyed detectives in my case, I think it's Kepsel had to falsify documents, and Lowen wore his gun for me to see. Okay. I am sure you are familiar with, after watching all my plastered, highly misconstrued, over 30 million views just on one site, quote, interviews, and in which they both repeatedly attempted to, quote, feed me their incorrect, incomplete, hypothesized opinion by stating to me, everyone has their limits, at this seemingly endless point of perpetuality of nonsense and lawlessness still growing, and I very much want to advance to the next level after ongoing 5 years now. Wow, a genuine concerned limit has been reached. Why am I still not being included in my case? How much more of my case and self is being added hourly, especially after this letter gets loose on the internet, increasing the mass infection and destruction of my hopes to have a fair trial, anything fair, my side foremost, and wondering now if my attorney drank the punch like everyone else. Oh my goodness. All aforementioned reasons, and so many more, for their letter to be written hoping to deter some of the unfair, one-sided finger-pointing, something corruption and malpractice being directed at me only by these in the justice system who are trying to deflect the shame and shock from me fearlessly challenging the status quo. And it must be so because it's in my face, on the computer, at the same time, on my boob tube, television, brainwashed, ignorant followers of disbelief, conformity, and greed, trying unsuccessfully to make my life by character assassination seem worse than theirs. No, too, when anyone points their finger, 1, it's impolite, and 2, 3 point back at you. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's gotten a little rambling here. How many tried to see? Put the something down as there will be no... Put the phone? Is that what that says? Put the... I don't know, down, as there will be no casting of anything today except maybe for the role of my part for all the conclusion documentaries and crystal ball real life stories of true crime incorrectly formulated from everyone supposedly knowing me and judging me, or judging who they think I am, what really happened, and is going to futuristically. Remember, 3 point back at you. Okay. Soothsaying is not a real job. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Okay. This is okay. I have to stop for a second because I can only take so much, right? But let me just I think Jamie has probably already told you guys this, but if you will do me a favor, I sometimes don't see all of the comments. So if there's something that you really want me to see in this, just put GF in your comment and that will put it to my attention. I have a little filter that helps me find stuff where I normally wouldn't see it. And Jamie, of course, because she's my awesome moderator, already put that in there. Just go ahead and put GF to talk to me about it. Okay. What have we learned so far? What we've learned so far is that Ms. Sarah Boone makes up words. I did compliment her on her handwriting. It is legible, but it does drone on a little bit. And it seems to me that her main complaints, I guess, is that her lawyer isn't doing enough and isn't communicating well enough. And that seems to be the main thing, right? Number two, that the world gets to judge her for who they think she is rather than who she says she is. Now, keep in mind that this case is in Florida, guys. Almost everything is public record in Florida. This is the reason why we have memes like Florida Man. It's because we're able to gain access to things very easy in Florida, just like Idaho and Utah and stuff like that. So her complaint seems to be so far that the world is getting to judge her without the benefit of her being able to explain her side of the story. Of course, this seems to be a self-fulfilling prophecy because had she not, I don't want to use the word fired, but had she not lost 8 lawyers, this trial would have happened already and we all would have been able to see her side of the story. Right? So she is, I think she might be her own worst enemy, but I still think that this letter is a good idea. Keep that in mind. And you guys may disagree with me, but I do think this letter is a good idea. And let's not forget, we're talking about a 42-year-old man who lost his life by being zipped inside of a suitcase. It appears to be with malicious intent, and then he suffocated to death. You know, if I can think of just one benefit of being a giant fat man, it is that there is no way anybody can zip me inside of a suitcase. That would have to be the world's largest suitcase. Anyway, okay. Let's I've taken my break. I've cleansed my palate a little bit. Let's continue. Okay. To sum it up in the words of my attorney after I told her to Google me, she stated, there's a lot. To sum it up in the words of myself, sum up, you just wrote 6 pages. Okay. To sum it up in the words of myself, the defendant stated to my attorney after she stated that to me, when can I see how much longer, after she stated that to me, when can I see how much longer do I have to wait or how many attorneys must be withdrawn for me to be included in my case and be included more than the world presently is. I think that this actually is probably a valid gripe by Ms. Boone. Now, I'm not saying that, what am I saying here? I'm not saying that she's right about everything, but I also know that for lots of different reasons, inmates are not allowed to keep a lot of their case file stuff. They're not allowed to keep it. And so, they can go over it with their attorney. They can do it sometimes by Zoom or by whatever that secure connection is that the jail uses, sometimes in person, but they can't keep a lot of it. And, I think there are reasons why they can't. Can you imagine how big a jail cell would have to be if you had to also store in that cell all the stuff in her case? 4 years old, over 4 years old. So I get it, but at the same time, were I put on trial, or were I accused of a horrific crime, I would want to be able to see all the stuff. I really would. Maybe Ms. Boone and I are both control freaks, but either way. All right. This is my case in every aspect. See all my aforementioned ongoing 5-year questions I'm still waiting on for answers. Also, I want to make it known I walked out on my attorney in her last meeting due to her unwarranted, uninformative, unprofessional, snotty attitude and her untruthful answers to my questions and beyond. The quote, retarded vicious circle, close quote, we enter every time we meet is a waste of time, and I'm saying that being in jail with supposed endless amounts of, in jail with supposed endless amounts of, okay, how she treats me is extremely prejudiced, hostile, and unconcerned. She is very frustrating. 1, to back or defend on any endeavor. 2, to induce feelings of insecurity, discouragement, or dissatisfaction in. 3, to bring to nothing. Here is something that I think a lot of clients need to understand. A defense attorney, what do I want to say here? A defense attorney does not have to, and most likely won't like you, especially if you're guilty. And so you don't have to get along with that person, and you don't even have to have a good working relationship. You just have to believe that they're a talented attorney. And that's on the attorney. They should be able to communicate with their client. Hey, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What you're telling me right now does not matter. And I think that Ms. Boone has been told that and just has a hard time accepting it or understanding it. Same time, if I were her, I would want access to all my files, the discovery, the whole thing. I'd want access to it. So much I presented my solution in order to coexist with and work together in a hopeful, progressive, positive, appropriate manner. I added pretend judge to our interactions so she could calm down and ease up on her condescension, offensive demeanor, and obvious prejudgment. Again, she can believe you are guilty. She can not like you. She can condescend to you. She can feel that you are beneath her and still be a good lawyer. None of that is mutually exclusive, right? She seems like everyone else not to remember I am innocent until adjudged otherwise. Well, that is a misunderstanding of the law. No. You are presumed innocent by the jury until you are proven guilty. You're not presumed innocent by everyone, and you are not indeed innocent if you are guilty. Okay? So this whole thing, I'm innocent until adjudged otherwise, is not fact. It is not based in any type of fact or truth. You're presumed innocent by the jury until you are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The rest of us that are not your jurors, we can look at the things, and your lawyer can look at the case and go, yeah, she's guilty. And we are perfectly in our right to do so, to have and express that opinion. So yeah, she is misunderstood. She is not innocent until judged otherwise. She is innocent if she is innocent. Otherwise, she is guilty. But the legal system gives her that presumption of innocence to give her that benefit to make the prosecution prove that she is guilty. Okay. After my introduction and explanation with pretend judge in the room or on the phone, I'm trying to help her understand how she is making herself extremely unwelcoming. Who cares if she is unwelcoming? When in front of a real judge and in the courtroom is how she should treat me, her client, at all times. I should not have to invent pretend judge in order to be, and am not at all wrong for wanting to be respected. This, again, I think this is a complete misunderstanding of society. No, respect is something that is earned. It is not given by default. If you feel disrespected by your attorney, it is because you have not earned her respect. Now she might have a bar that is way, way too high to respect you. You may never be able to earn that respect, but the default isn't respect. Okay? Especially in this kind of relationship. You guys might disagree. You can tell me where I'm wrong. No matter the outcome, I am innocent until adjudged otherwise. We've gone over that. My attorney, everyone should be fair, unbiased, trustworthy, honest, supportive, informative, protective, automatically and effortlessly. I think everyone should be fair. I don't think unbiased is reasonable for you to want and think that you can get. Trustworthy that you should be, honest you should be. I don't think supportive is something that you should expect. Informative, protective, I don't think you should expect that. Automatically and effortlessly. Yeah, I think she's wrong on a lot of this. I should feel secure, highly confident, proud in her representing my life. No, you are not guaranteed that by the Sixth Amendment or anything else. I do not, and have said to her many times regarding her monumental disbelief in me in my case, which I believe contributes greatly to her, I don't know what that, something attitude towards me. I am hoping by this letter she will pick up the sword of injustice and fight alongside, not against me, as so many, unmotivated, overwhelmed, weak attorneys prior who have bowed out ungracefully and crept away from the battlefield unsuccessful. What an interesting insight into her life. I should feel secure, highly confident, and proud in her representing my life. Well, what, madam, if you are a complete dillhole and it's very difficult to like you or enjoy your time together, but I am still a competent attorney and can put on a very good defense for you? What then? Apparently that's not good enough for her. My case equals bizarre, equals unknown, equals different, equals ignorant, equals misunderstood, equals unfair. This does not mean my case can't equal success, and in more than one way. While everyone continues to ring their bells of malevolence, I am ringing mine of hope, honor, plausibility, boldness. Listen, I am not a murderer. The justice system should equal fair, faith, truth, respect. I think the justice system should be fair, should seek truth, and be respectful of the law. Okay? Innocent until and if adjudged otherwise. Again, not true. Not true. Presumed innocent by a jury. Presumed innocent by a jury until proven otherwise. The rest of us, we can all know that we can all feel you guilty, and it's perfectly fine. 3-point back. Sarah Boone. Confused cat yes, thank you. And then she has a bunch of notes that are notes from the visits with her attorney and so forth. All right, guys, let's see where I am wrong, shall we? Let's see where you guys disagree with me. Uh, let's see. Scroll down here. Yeah, Winter allegedly says soap opera works perfectly. Yeah, it is a soap opera. Yes, L. Shirley. She uses big words to sound smart, but all it really is rambling nonsense. Yeah, and a lot of the words that she uses they're not in English that I'm aware of. And it's not like I am a astute student of the language of my mother tongue, but I do speak multiple languages. I do study language. It's something that I enjoy. There were a couple words in there. I was like, huh? I think you're making that one up. That one does not exist. So funny. Yeah, Barb, why does she believe she deserves 9 attorneys? I do not think. Well, I think that she is an entitled person. I think what we learned from this letter is that she feels entitled to a lot of things. And like there are a couple things where I can have sympathy with. Like, for example, it sucks to be in jail. Like, it really must suck to be in jail. Like, there are people that go to jail and are innocent and spend 15, 30, 60 days in the system, only finally to have charges dropped. And the entire time they're going, why wouldn't anybody listen to me? The level of frustration must be extremely, extremely high. So I'm gonna give her a little grace and give her that. It's gotta suck to be in jail for 4 years now, right? But at the same time, she's pretty entitled. And like, she is a prisoner of her own devices. Had she been able to work with an attorney, this would all be done. Maybe she would have won. Who knows? Maybe, right? All right. Let's see. If it was a game, how is she using a battered paramour defense? Jamie asks. Yeah, so she said first it was a game, and then later it looked like they were going to use that battered defense. Yeah, it seems like the story that she told officers. Actually, let's take a moment. Let's bring out Uncle Gavin, okay, guys? Okay, Uncle Gavin here. Our intrepid moderator, Jamie, just brought up something extremely important. And that is that if she's going to use the battered paramour defense, why would she ever tell them about the game? Why would she do that in the first place? Okay, here's your Uncle Gavin saying, guys, Uncle Gavin here, okay? Don't talk to the po-po. Don't do it. Ever. Ever. Don't do it. When you get pulled over for a traffic violation that you are guilty of, don't talk. When you are arrested or you are questioned on suspicion of murdering your boyfriend by zipping him inside a suitcase, do not talk ever to the po-po. Don't do it. Jamie, that is a very, very good question. I think that's going to be probably the downfall, right? Had she not had all of the other, I guess, theories that are on the record, she might more easily be able to convince a jury, yeah, I'm suffering from battered paramour syndrome, right? Very, very good observation, Jamie. Lily says, I can't believe how ridiculous he was to get into the suitcase and how ridiculous she was to leave him there. Her taunting is terrible to listen to. Shin's Koala, defense lawyer here. She is making demands on her lawyers outside the scope of even zealous representation. Thank you very much, Shin's Koala. Let's see. That's very good. L. Shirley. Jamie, if it was a game of hide and seek, how come she helped him hide? She is so dumb. We were playing hide and seek, but he needed help, so I hit him. Then I was going to go to the corner. 1,000, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. That is a great comment, Shirley. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, that is funny. Will they eventually let her represent herself with standby counsel? Probably. Yeah, I think probably. Lily says it depends how many more lawyers she goes through. Let's see. El Shirley says to Shin's Koala, she says in this letter she doesn't want to represent herself. Maybe she'll be forced to. And Shins goes, tricky, but the judge will read her the riot act and make her decide. She wants an attorney who exclusively works on her case and no others. Impossible. Yeah, great comment, Shins Koala. Thank you for chiming in with us here. How do I say it? Is this Gazelle? CD? I don't think any lawyer is going to want to represent her. I think she is trying to get them to give up and drop the charges. Hey, Shins Koala, let me back up to you here real quick, because this is the first time I've had a defense attorney hop on. If you go either to my website, which is gavinfish.com, click on contact. There's a little form here that you can fill out to get in touch with me. I read everything that comes in. I don't respond to all of it, but Shins Koala specifically, if you don't mind reaching out, I would love to talk to a defense attorney on the show, if you're game, about this case and others. So you or anyone who is a defense attorney who watches my channel, please reach out. I'd love to talk to you. The other way that you can reach out is over on the Fish Tank. Look at us. We're over 1,700 members now, guys. Over on the Fish Tank, we chit chat. Sarah Boone. Oh, I was at a pretrial conference earlier today for my day job. We talk about all sorts of stuff. So please head on over there, and that is a good way to get in touch with me and my team. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Shins Koala. She seems too preoccupied with public opinion about her. Okay, well, this brings me to my opinion that I think that this was a good move for her. But I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Here's what I think. I think that a potential juror, I almost said jurist, I meant juror, a potential juror might see that letter and read it and think she is being treated unfairly and be on her side and somehow get onto the jury. I think that this was, if that was her goal, if her goal was to, I guess, poison the jury pool a little bit, because in Florida, guys, Florida is a state where we can get public records easy. Like, I love it when I hear a case is in Florida because I never even have to talk to anybody. I can just go to the website of the court and I can get almost anything I want. And with one or two other phone calls, I can get the rest of it. So, like, this is, she knows by sending the judge this letter, it's going to get out there. Will it reach the ears or the eyes of a potential juror or two, which will give her a chance at either a hung jury or a not guilty verdict? Now, playing devil's advocate here, from what I was just saying, that might work if she didn't sound like a crazy person. She's a little bit of a crazy person, right? Maybe if she sounded not crazy, it would work better. Yes. Patty says, I followed this case with the lawyer you know, Peter Tragos. Sarah Boone is a narcissist who is the reason she has gone through 8 lawyers. Her attitude is ridiculous. Can't disagree, Patty. Can't disagree. Oh, yeah. Gazelle says, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yeah, me neither. Look at Daryl Brooks. Maybe don't. He drove me crazy, but I was like a moth to the flame. Yeah, he was a lot to take, and I can't remember the name of the judge in that case, but I loved her. I just loved her. Yeah, an attorney can still try this case and deal with the Sixth Amendment claim from her later. Yeah, that's true. Lily, the Sixth Amendment guarantees every citizen's right to effective counsel. That's the main part of the Sixth Amendment. Okay. And Shins adds, just because she says her representation is inadequate doesn't mean the law does. Yeah, one of the things that is argued, for example, in the Delphi case, if you guys remember, it went to the state Supreme Court. They were complaining and ultimately won that Richard Allen was being denied his Sixth Amendment rights because he wasn't getting the lawyer he wanted. And I think that they won on a technicality on that one. I don't think the Sixth Amendment does guarantee that you get the defense that you want, especially if you're an indigent client, which Ms. Boone is, right? Which actually most people are when they make it into the legal system. So, yeah, it just guarantees you to an effective counsel. That's what the Sixth Amendment guarantees. As a layperson understanding the Sixth Amendment, I'm sure Shins Koala knows more than me. But yeah, there we go. He said it in the same words. Right to effective counsel. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to skip down here a little bit. Shins Koala again. The letter is a good idea because it will come back to bite her on appeal when she tries to claim ineffective assistance of counsel. It gives the appeals court a roadmap to her insanity. That's interesting. That is interesting. Lily says, if she kept quiet and stopped writing letters, we would know less about Sarah and her case. Yeah, it's all self-fulfilling, right? Emily says, poor Sally. All right. Let's see. Emily says, the ultimate Karen. Sorry if your name is Karen. The lawyer knows she's a psychopath. Yes. Sarah just wants a puppet attorney, says AC. Yeah. Lily says, sounds like it rambles for 58 pages. It does. Shins Koala says, I have a feeling she'll be in a separate room watching her trial on a Zoom call. Yeah, I have a feeling she won't be able to close her mouth. I think she will be like Mr. Brooks. I agree. Lily says someone said she should get Daryl Brooks to represent her. Shin says the only difference between this and the Daryl Brooks case is Daryl wanted to represent himself. Otherwise, she is the female Daryl Brooks. Yeah. Curious Irish Angel is appropriately, because of curiosity, asking a question. Why doesn't the judge just let her go pro se? I wonder that myself. Wonder. All right, I'm skipping way down. Mark Benson says, I think they need a new law nationwide. You get 3 public defenders if you have private, different story, bottom line. Yeah. I think that the rules, I don't know. See, you guys know I love good lawyering. The thing about a good lawyer is that the thing that is most important to them is the law. That's what you want out of a lawyer, right? And that's what you want out of a judge. That is what you want out of the legal system, to protect the law, that over time there are injustices in the law, but over a long period of time, those injustices are fixed, remedied, or rectified somehow through the appellate system, right? You want an attorney who loves and respects the law. I think that the system that we have right now is fine. I really do. And I'm sorry that Ms. Boone has been able to game it in such a way that she's now over 4 years in jail. But she is the only person who suffers because of that gamesmanship. So I don't know if there needs to be new laws on anything. But I respect your opinion. Let's see. Skipping way down. Oh no, Tyler. I hope her son doesn't pop up a trial like Chad's daughter did. Ugh. Yeah. Molly Clean, is there an advantage for her delaying the trial? For her, that is. Again, not a lawyer, so this is just the opinion of a layperson, but I don't know that, I don't see a legal, I don't see a legal advantage or benefit for Ms. Boone. But I do see the same thing with like Daryl Brooks. I do see that they get to have the satisfaction of believing that they are in control. And I think for a person like her, that is very, very important. And that's why we have people play these shenanigans for so long. Yeah, let's see. She's trying to establish the Dunning-Kruger defense. Do you guys know Dunning-Kruger? Let's see if I know this well enough. But basically, the Dunning-Kruger effect is that if you are ignorant to your own ignorance, you get to be blissful. Right? So if you're not smart enough to understand you don't know very much, that in and of itself can be a beautiful, lovely life, right? It's only those of us who are smart enough to know that we don't know enough are the ones that have to deal with, the pursuit of learning and stuff like that. So yeah, she's establishing the Dunning-Kruger defense. That is funny. GF, will the jury see her incriminating video she took of herself? I'm sure. Yes, that would be part of discovery for sure. Jamie's going to jot that down to Google later. Yeah, Dunning-Kruger is hilarious. Let's see. Jackie says, Sarah is a very manipulative person. She was even trying to manipulate the cops questioning her. Yeah, don't talk to cops, guys. Guys, listen to Uncle Gavin. Okay, don't talk to cops. They're probably all lovely people. I have good friends that are cops. Don't talk to them. Okay. Shins Koala is telling us Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which people with limited competence in a particular domain overestimate their abilities. Yeah. They don't know. They're incompetent, so they don't know they're incompetent. Yeah, thanks, Mark. We can agree to disagree. All right. Yeah, I think we've got through it, guys. Thanks so much. Man, I've got an itchy nose today. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I have been kind of focused on the Madeline Soto case, the Micah Miller case, Karen Reed case for the last little while. It's fun to kind of venture out of those and go take a look at another case. Let's not forget that a man lost his life. Now, this guy, not the best guy in the world, but still did not deserve to suffocate to death inside of a suitcase. So we do have a victim here, and hopefully there can be justice for him at some point. I think eventually the judge will probably put an end to all the foolishness and just move forward with an attorney, without an attorney, I don't know. I would move forward with an attorney and then let Sarah Boone take it up on appeal later. But, you know, I trust in the judge to be able to be a prudent jurist. Okay, guys, with that, let me just remind you that you can always join me over here on the Fishing Hole. It's good times over there. Please join us on the Fishing Hole. You can reach out to me over here on my website. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to my patrons who make it possible for me to publish this website, to afford the server space, to, you know, get the site built and be able to put all of those files on there. So thank you very, very much to my patrons who support me. If you would like to support me on Patreon, you can do so by clicking here on this button. But your support by watching these videos, sharing, liking, subscribing, it is so much, and I deeply thank you for that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.